Hello and welcome back to another Cinema 4D Lite video. In this video I've got a couple of textures here. So these are the two things we need to look at: Material Manager and Material Editor. So this is the Material Manager. So you can see we can toggle it on and off like that. And I created a couple of textures. If we double click on each of the textures, this bevel texture that I created, what I did is I changed the specular on it. So the width here, you can see this is basically the width of the specular. And then this specular strength is essentially the height of the specular. So you can see that changing. So you can see that's what that. It's basically just more powerful strength. Yeah, makes sense. And then the inner width, again, pretty self-explanatory. So that's going to be for the text that we're going to create. That this is going to be the bevel of the text because obviously a bit shinier and stuff like that. And then the other texture that I did, I didn't change too much on it. It looks pretty. This is pretty much the default. So you can change the colors as well, like this. You can essentially choose also between, you see different values here. RGB is kind of a bit easier to do though. So we'll do what I did in the previous video, which is, pretty straightforward. Just the extrude the text, put this on here. Okay, so we've done that a few times. Now if we look at extrude, yeah, just because we're working with a bevel and I want it to be obvious in the beginning, I'm just going to put this up a little bit. All right, so how are we going to get the textures here on the stuff? Well, you can right click apply. You can also drag this across, put it on there like that. And then we're also going to drag this one across, put that guy on there as well. All right, so you'll notice that this basically replaced the entire texture. So the whole lot is this texture, but obviously it's a bevel, so you don't want that. So if we take a look at the selections here, what this does is basically gives you little shortcuts that you have to type in. And like, for instance, we want to do the bevel R2. This is the bevel we want, which is basically going to be the front of the text here. And we want it to be this color, but we want the rest to be the orange color. So we click on this guy here. We do have this tag properties and we have selection. And this is where you type in that R2. So if you see, if I type in R2, you'll see all the text turned to orange, but the bevel on the front remained, the color that you want of the bevel. You can hold down Control and drag across, and then this lets you. It's just a way to copy the texture, which is pretty useful. When we create a texture, we just double click here. If you do want to use a texture from an image or something like that, so for instance, if I wanted to use the, so I could, for instance, let's try this rustic wooden floor. So I can then just drag this onto the extrude, and that will change the texture to whatever you want there. Now we could put in R2 there maybe, and you can see sort of how that will work. The R2 on this one is taking precedence here over the R2 on the one to the left. But yeah, you can see that higher, kind of like high resolution images is going to kind of get some interesting effects. So I might have to explore that in future videos, but until then, thanks for watching.